Aeliana Marrow stood on the balcony of her parents' grand estate overlooking the sprawling city of Veridonia. The city buzzed with the hum of machinery and the distant clatter of workshops. Her violet eyes scanned the horizon where the sun dipped below the skyline, casting an orange glow over the ancient metropolis. Her fingers absent-mindedly traced the intricate patterns on the railing, a habit she'd developed during moments of deep thought. Her family rose to prominence in Veridonia through hard work and deals with the nobles. Aeliana, though, stood here tonight, alone. Her parents were Avide and Caron Moro. He was a famous blacksmith. She was a scholar, one of the keepers of the great library of Veridonia. Loved by all, they were struck down by a thief when Aeliana was 12. Her grandmother Ella Chris moved into the estate and helped Aeliana keep it up. Aeliana gained a love for magic, abilities she found she had from a young age. Her parents shunned it, afraid of her abilities, while her grandmother only advised caution. Ella was an accomplished mage known throughout the world. She took it upon herself to train her granddaughter. Ella encouraged Aeliana to grow in her abilities and taught her many things: Elvish, Dwarvish, Rian, basic medicine, prophecies, and histories of the North. Ella had a young friend named Catherine Bree, who often came to check on the two. Now Ella had passed, and Aeliana was alone, at 20. What now? She thought aloud. This grand estate, only for me now. She walked across the room, pondering over elvish scrolls her grandmother was reading just before her passing. Lost in your own world again, Aeliana? Flynn Tarkov's voice broke through her reverie. She turned to see him leaning against the doorway, his green eyes twinkling with amusement. Flynn had arrived from Galdoria a few days ago, bearing news of unrest in the neighboring empires. His presence was a comforting reminder of the bond they shared, forged through countless adventures and childhood encounters. Her parents took him in. When Aeliana was 1, as an apprentice blacksmith, he was like a brother to her. I'm sorry I wasn't here when she passed, hugged Aeliana, even if she set my pants on fire last time I was here. Aeliana laughed. Sadly, just thinking, reflecting, Aeliana admitted, her voice tinged with grief. The balance of our world is faltering, Flynn. The Watcher's influence is waning. I can feel it. The empires are on the brink of chaos. Flynn approached her, his tall, muscular frame casting a shadow over her smaller figure. Galador has fallen. Aeliana, creatures of myth have risen up from the shadows. I hoped Ella could guide us as what to do, but I was too late. Flynn turned away. We'll find a way, Aeliana said reassuringly, just like we always do. Flynn nodded, his mind racing. I know, Aeliana continued, but this time something feels different. The old magics are stirring and the prophecies are becoming more urgent. We need to understand the true nature of our world and the role we play in it. Her violet eyes started to glow, bright like the sun, then returned to normal. Flynn placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Then we'll start by seeking out those ancient texts. Ella spoke of, there must be answers hidden within them. Aeliana nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. You're right, Flynn. We need to visit the great library of Veridonia. If there's any place that holds the knowledge we seek, it's there. Aeliana gathered the scrolls into a pack, then took a black short sword and sheath off the mantle. It was her father's sword. Flynn looked at her in surprise. Just in case, she said. We'll leave in the morning. Your old room is just as you left it. I wouldn't let my grandmother change it. Aeliana walked back to the balcony. A maid arrived with a plate of food. Sella, thank you, she said. Gather something for Flynn and ready his bed, then go home. We shall head to the library at dawn and may go on a journey. Keep the plants watered and the house secured if we do not return immediately. Sella nodded and turned away, then stopped. My lady, I almost forgot. Your grandmother asked that I give this to you. She gave Aeliana a small package. Thank you, Sella, Aeliana said again. Sella, don't mind me. Flynn said, go home, take some food for your daughter. He hugged the maid. You and your family have served this family well for years, and though I am just an apprentice from Galador that found himself here as a child, I think I speak for all of us when I call you family. Aeliana smiled at this and joined the two in a hug, now weeping for her lost legacy. Find Erod Sil. Give him this. She wrote something on a piece of parchment and handed it to her. I fear this is our end in this place. Callow Villa is now yours, by my decree. It is mine by birthright, my mother's inheritance. Live there and keep me a room if I shall need it. Sella was dumbfounded but overjoyed. Thank you, my lady, Flynn interrupted her. Sella, you are now Lady Sella of Callow Villa. We are equal. Aeliana and Sella both laughed. Excuse me then, Aeliana, my friend. I thank you for this, and shall never forget what you have done for my family. You and your descendants are always welcome in Callow. We shall leave immediately. Sella gave Aeliana and Flynn one last hug, and left Flynn looked at Aeliana for a time as she ate at the table. What is it, foster brother? She said playfully. Flynn smiled. What you just did, it reminded me of your father. Hell, our father, he raised both of us. Though we are not blood, you will always be my sister. He drew his sword and knelt, presenting it to Aeliana. I have nothing else left in this world, and vow upon the all that I shall be your sword until the end of days. Aeliana stood. I accept you as my sword until the end of days, she laughed. Now get over here and eat, you silly ass. The siblings shared a meal and discussed the coming day.